back with another 60-minute paint job, and you know what, it's more like 30 minutes in this case, because we're painting a clay golem. It's 100% clay, it's all the same color, not a whole lot we can do with it, unfortunately, but we're gonna try. This is one of those miniatures where you can very easily just base coat, wash, and dry brush and call it a day, and it'd be perfectly fine because it's all just one color and there's not a whole bunch of variation you can do with just clay, because clay is one color. But I considered it a bit of a challenge, and I wanted to see if we can actually try to one up what the figure would normally call for. As you can see, we started with red leather, which has a bit of a terracotta look to it. And then we're giving it a heavy wash of game color charred brown to give us a bit of shade. And then we can jump right into the highlights. The red brown had to be reapplied in just a few small areas where the shade dried where it shouldn't. But other than that, we just mix in some yellow ochre and begin the highlighting process. This is literally 100% of the miniature we are highlighting here, so I don't have a whole much else to show you on painting this miniature. So I'm letting these clips play out much longer than normal. They're also sped up much faster than normal, so you can see a majority of the process. But again, we're just going around and highlighting like we would do on a regular miniature. Just in this case, it's the entire miniature. And I would say the only challenge here was this miniature is a bit of a Mobius strip. I probably should have planned it out a little bit better, because I just kept highlighting and highlighting and highlighting and forgetting where I started from, and it just seemed to never end. So you may want to plan out your limbs and then move on to the body and so forth if you like. I didn't want to go too yellow, so for the next highlight we went with a little bit of khaki in the mix. And there's some areas on the miniature where the clay is looks like it's flaking off a little bit, and really concentrated more of the highlights in those regions, just to add a little bit of variety to a very simplistic miniature. Have to do something special with the eye since everything's one color. Base coated with flat yellow, then we give it a deep orange wash and kind of work it around the eye socket area so it gives it a bit of a glow. And then we go back, just dot in the eyes with flat yellow mixed with white. So we have a very simple glow effect. I actually thought that the orange wouldn't work because the red leather we use has kind of an orange tint to it, but I like the subtle glow. It works out pretty well. cleanup stage, black and brown ink mixed together, just placed into all those little cracks in our clay. Since this is a short video, I'm going to cover the base as well. Just dry brushed the gravel areas with, I don't even remember the colors I use. You just use a dark brown, a medium brown, and a light brown, and that's, you call it a day. For the rock he's standing on, we're using, again, 3 colors, neutral gray, camo black brown, and bone white. Again, this is the whole process. We're wet blending it here. I like to wet blend rocks because it gives them a bit more of that natural color variation rocks tend to have. So started off with the neutral gray and camo black brown, gray for stone color, camo black brown for a little bit of brown in it, and then we proceed to add bone white for the highlights. And that is it. A very simple paint job, which actually took longer than I thought. I think it took around 45 minutes, mainly just because there was so much to highlight, and I kept losing track of where I was while painting the miniature. I'll let you in on a little secret. I bought this miniature by mistake. When I was at the store, I could have sworn it said Flesh Golem. And then I got it home and realized, no, it's a clay golem. And I pretty much tossed this into the bin of miniatures I don't care about, but then I just decided to dig it out and then see what I can do with a very simple miniature. It's not something I normally paint. I like to get a bit more detailed, but you know what, it was actually kind of fun, and it took longer to paint than expected. Again, this is something you can very easily just dry brush and wash and call it a day, but I usually like to add a little bit of complexity to my miniatures, and well, there you go. This is what we ended up with, a pretty fanciful clay golem. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Buck, plank chest.
Stump, Chunkman.
Dirk, hard peck.
Rip, steak face.
Slate, slab rock.
Crud, bone meal.